The economic system, folks, is in great shape. All right. Don't let anybody fool you. It's in great shape in the aggregate, meaning the totality of the economic system as capitalism works. However, the distribution of all the gains that we've had is currently unfair, and it's currently what would I call fraudulent, because it's not distributed equitably based on who does the work at all. So right now, when you hear Trump talk about, Biden's economy is terrible. No, Trump's economy was terrible. Trump inherited a great economy from Obama, and after the pandemic came, because of his mishandling, destroyed it. Biden had to rebuild it. And I'll tell you, he did a damn good job by bringing up the Keynesian economic policies that brought the economy back without a recession. Yes, we had inflation, but the inflation was caused by what? Corporate greed. All of it. And I've explained in other videos why all our inflation was due to corporate greed and corporate ineptitude. But here is some reality about our current economy.
A new batch of economic data just released showing just how strong the economy is. Moments ago, the payroll company ADP reported private companies added 233,000 jobs in October. That is far more than expected. This as the gross domestic product expanded at 2.8% in the third quarter, driven by robust consumer spending. And consumer confidence rose more than 11%, the biggest monthly gain since March of 2021 as we were trying to pull ourselves out of the pandemic. Joining us now, the co-anchor of CNBC's Squawk Box and New York Times columnist Andrew Ross Sorkin. Andrew, good to see you. As some economists were saying again this morning, these numbers show further that our economy is the envy of the world.
It's the envy of the world. I'll throw in another statistic for you. Wages, which have been the story when it comes to inflation versus wages. Now wages up 4.6% for the year. So I only say that because year over year. I say that because it is impossible not to say on any basis that this economy is not blowing past all expectations. It's just what is happening. And given that we're here at, the 11th hour of this election, any argument from anybody to say that we're not in a robust economy is just not telling you the truth. It's just, I can't say it in any other way. That part, I always say life's not black and white. That part's black and white.
Yeah. And although the Dow may have dipped a little in recent days, it's still up over 42,000. So
given the fact that the numbers on the economy that you just put out there are black and white, that's right. your words. I'm curious. There's a lot of viewers being fed disinformation on the economy on a 24/7 basis. Joe Biden's economy, it's terrible. Joe Biden's economy, Kamala Harris's economy, it's terrible.
Can't be said with a straight face.
Okay, I know, but they say it with a straight face.
I know.
My bigger question is the billionaires and the market movers that you talk with in your circles, on your show, in your reporting. How can they honestly say that Trump is a good opportunity for their businesses and this country? Because ultimately this country's economic health impacts their businesses, does it not? And these are very smart men. They're alpha males. They're very smart.
What's happened?
They have so much money, Andrew.
What's happened, and it is, to me, it's a disgrace and it's sad that there are so many people at the top of the business community who, by the way, have the wealth and wherewithal.
But it's self-sabotage, isn't it?
But they have the wherewithal to stand up and speak out if they so choose, and they are choosing not to because out of fear. That's what this is. Jeff Sonnenfeld had a piece with a number of CEOs, former CEOs, who were willing to go on the record on behalf of Kamala Harris. But what's so telling about that is they're former Fortune 500 CEOs. Most of them,
they're afraid of. They're afraid of it, their company being a target and going after them. And they need to do business with the government. And they want their deals to go through. And they're saying, I'm responsible to my shareholders. And the fact that it's even a consideration.
Winning is actually self-sabotage. If Andrew's information, black and white, is true, which I believe, that the economy is healthy and doing How would you characterize
I think that
how the economy is doing compared to 10 years ago?
I think you look at what happened. I mean, I think this all goes back not just to Trump, but to even Ron DeSantis with Disney. I think people look at these examples of politicians who truly have weaponized their profession against the business community. And therefore you have business leaders who used to stand up and talk about politics. It used to be very, look, Warren Buffett used to campaign on behalf of Hillary Clinton. He was public. He would do rallies. Jamie Dimon used to donate to politicians in his own name. He doesn't do this anymore. I mean, there's a real shift that's happening in America. We talked about Jeff Bezos yesterday. I'm just saying there's a whole group of people who I think live today in a different sense of fear. And by the way, I think they also look at these different signals in markets and say, well, if it's this close and there's a chance that he's going to win, where am I going to be on the other side of that? Now, so I'm not sympathizing with it. I'm just suggesting to you that I think when we try to understand how this is all happening, why this is happening, that's what it is. And it's sad to me.
So they're choosing their self-interest, their own personal, needy self-interest as opposed to the country.
Look, I think if you have that kind of wealth, especially at those levels. Care. No, you should be able to care. You should be able to care. If people who have that kind of wealth can't stand up, who can?
I know.
I mean, that is the question.
Thank you.
Right? But what you've seen over and over is most of the people, Mark Cuban doesn't run a publicly traded company. Reid Hoffman doesn't run a publicly traded company. It's interesting to me that Elon Musk actually does. He's one of the few on the other side who does. But most of them have tried to stay out of the fray because they think that this has become so tribal. But specifically, I think it's not just the tribalism itself. It's that there's a particular candidate in this election that they worry is going to weaponize and come after them.
The bottom line is this. The economy is doing very well on the macro level. All the numbers are cooking. Where it's deficient is in how all that money created and that rebuilding in the economy, how it is redistributed. Yes, the people's wages have gone up by 4-point-something%, while inflation is at 2%, which means there's a net 2% gain in their buying power with their money. But that is not enough based on what they've lost in buying power. That is not enough based on what has been occurring since 1980 and Reaganomics. We have already shown that if you take a look and adjust for inflation, the minimum wage right now should be 20-something%, or rather $21 or so should be the minimum wage at least right now. But it is sad. It is sad that that is the case.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.